Hi everyone, welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. We're coming at you live from our studio in the beautiful heart of We Are Winning the Stanley Cup, Las Vegas, Nevada, with our daily live show. Obviously today, huge, massive news. The Hinman emails are made public, but does it help Ripple or does it help another company more? We're going to discuss that. We have everything broken down. Also, new CPI numbers come in, lower than expected. What does that mean? Will the Fed pause or possibly could they be cutting rate hikes? We'll discuss that. We also have Army Piper joining us for some crypto TA. But first, here's your other co-host, Robin.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, well, we're an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take all that old, boring, and stale information that you get at all the other channels. I don't know about all of them, but I would say majority of them.
Majority.
And we package it up in a fun and sexy way. Yeah.
There's that stupid laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you, spasming your voice?
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
You know
what else is cool?
What's that?
It's cool that we don't have fiber.
Wow.
But you know what was not cool?
We still haven't tweaked it to perfection.
You know what was not cool is when we had a lot of network issues. But then you know what was cool after that?
May I ask you real quick? Actually, what is cool? Do you think one more button up, or is this too much?
I don't want to use the word because
douchey.
Yes. Either way. But thanks for ruining my sponsor intro. Well, we used to have internet issues. Now we really don't because of channel sponsor Cam's Blue Wire Tech. If you are running a business or you have friends or family that are running a business and you need some help maximizing your network, your IT solutions, you're going to want to give them a call so they can do that for you and you can focus on building your business and making more money. Visit bluewiretech.com for more information or click the link in the description of this video. Speaking of videos, I have a couple videos I would like to share here. Well, in honor of me not going to the gym for the last 3 years, I decided to find some. Decided to find
Hold
some.
on, you haven't been to the gym in 3 years?
Shut your mouth. And look, we both have the same muscle mass. Isn't that crazy?
I'm
and
just
you go to the
curious.
gym almost every day.
Does your wife open up the jars of mayonnaise?
I'm straight up.
Is she the one you're like, honey, can you open up this pickle jar? She's all like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it goes.
Can you bring the laundry basket upstairs for me, babe?
DJ, pull up my laptop. Also, real quick, big shout out. We got our man DJ filling in for the week for Rocco. He's out doing a Frappuccino taste test on the coast of California.
What do you think Rocco's doing? What do you think? You think he's on the beach right now?
He's definitely eating a Frappuccino with a spoon for sure. No one's told him yet you have to drink Frappuccino.
Why is this guy elevated in the air?
Hold on, man. These are new exercises I might start using when I go back to the gym. So this is Exhibit A.
What is happening? My Lord.
This is the new exercise, man.
Run.
So we have that. Here's another new exercise that I might start doing. This one is kind of like when you're low on time and you got to hit squats and another exercise at the same time. Well, here's an idea.
You ever signed up for the gym membership and then they give you the disclaimer thing, if you kill yourself, hurt yourself, it's on your own. That's exactly why.
There's people like that.
Yeah.
Also, one of the funniest things I've seen. So we know customer support nowadays, it's all done via, chatbots or online or emails. Well, apparently DoorDash has really intriguing and interesting support. And so this is a conversation. Apparently, someone had issue with their order. So in white is DoorDash's customer service. So we have here, I can offer you a refund of $5 in DoorDash credits or back to your payment method for the poorly packaged items. The customer said, what? Are you for real? It cost $20-something and I got nothing. He literally passed my house and threw the food in the road as he was driving. To which DoorDash said, have you received the food? To which the person said, it's in the road where he threw it as he passed my street. No, I don't have it. It's spread out across the road where he threw it. Although we encourage Dashers to wait a few minutes, we allow them to customize their own delivery experience. This is funny, man.
There's always you ever seen, like, every time there's some kind of issue on Twitter, somebody, one of the, at least on my feed, there's somebody in the Bitcoin community who's like, Bitcoin fixes that. Like, it does not fix this. Does not fix stupid and terrible customer service.
I don't think anything can fix this.
It's interesting. Do you think AI fixes that?
As far as them delivering?
No, I'm just the consumer experience. Do you think AI would be like, you know what, this would not be a good response? And probably. I think the computer would know better, right?
Yeah, humans sometimes we're not.
That's the world we're going to, man. Customer service is definitely going towards AI.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
Kind of already is, kind of.
On another side note that's not related to crypto, like anything we've talked about so far, I saw another video where one guy had a Pizza Hut delivery. He called in for Pizza Hut delivery, and then he called Domino's, and then he put them both on speakerphone. And then
that was funny.
Yeah, and then also in the AI world today, I saw they had an entire church ceremony done by AI.
Weird.
Yeah, so they did the music, the sermon, they did
that's weird.
Everything, and it was run by AI, and so they had a big screen on there, so the people weren't real, the message wasn't real. The message was real, but weird.
The message wasn't real.
Here's the thing: I think that in the future, I think the most efficient churches are going to be AI run ones. I think there might be more polarizing than your pastor. There's a couple good go-to pastors out there. There's very, very riveting, and you know what they're doing. But there's also a lot of snooze fest priests out there and
speaking
pastors.
Of snooze fest, people are snoozing on the like button.
Yeah,
except they're not really hitting it; they're just sleeping on
it. What is the like ratio at right now?
Right around 50%.
All right, guys, do us a favor. If you are new here, say hello. But more importantly, before you do that, hit the like button. If you like today's show, at some point, we'll start talking about crypto. And hopefully that'll be right now.
That point is now.
Yeah. What you got?
Crypto market cap still hovering over $1 trillion at 1.05. 24-hour volume is up to almost $35 billion. Bitcoin dominance and ETH dominance remain the same from yesterday. We have Bitcoin still under 26K, 25.9. Is 25.5 the new 28.5? Should be a show on Netflix, hopefully.
25.5 the new 28.5?
Yeah. 28.5, it kind of lingered there for about a month. It was not very exciting.
Okay.
We have ETH coming in at $1,742. Binance token, BNB, down to $238. This was well over $300. Through all the drama, all the BS, it still stayed over $300, and now we are down. Is this another FTX potential style situation unfolding, where a lot of Binance's, whether they have loans or money that they borrowed is kind of backed by BNB, because we know they hold the majority of it. What happens at a certain liquidation level? Will this thing implode like FTX did? I don't think so, but we can't rule anything out. And then we have XRP. Did see a little bit of a rally, but a pullback. We're going to look at the charts here in a second. Cardano, Doge, Tron, and Solana round out the top 10. Polygon Matic outside the top 10. So just under $6 billion. And then we have some of the biggest gainers and losers as far as the crypto bubbles. Biggest gainer, we have ICP, Phantom, Filecoin, Caspa, the Sui, Injective, and some of the biggest losers. Pulse Chain, Quant is down 1.7%, XDC down 3.2%. And with that being said,
also, Talladega Fitness dropped a $2.99 super chat. So big shout out to you, Talladega Fitness. He says, come down to Australia. He'll give us free
physical therapy.
PT.
Yeah.
What's PT?
Personal training or physical therapy, one or the other. I'm down for both.
Is that what PT stands for?
Physical therapy or personal training.
I was thinking it was like toilet paper backwards or like plain toilet.
Speaking of therapy, we're getting ready to do some technical therapy. And by that, I mean technical analysis. We have a first timer joining us. We have from the Investing Bros, Army Piper. Let's go ahead and patch him in. Mr. Piper.
What's up? How you doing, brother?
Good, my friend. How you doing? Can we see your face real quick? We never met. This is our first time meeting. Want to see that beautiful
I know.
face.
Like, hi, I'm just a chart of Bitcoin on the daily.
You're ready. I identify as candlesticks. We like it. I am David, and the other gentleman that is laughing in the background, that is Robin. And so great to meet you. Thanks for being on the show. And looks like you're ready to go, man. Go ahead. What do you got?
I am. I just want to point out, though, real fast, that I've been in the Army for 21 years. I'm getting ready to retire June 30th from the U.S. Army. Man. And I appreciate the support, man. But so when I hear PT, PT is physical training that we do every morning. But now that I'm about to retire, PT is physical therapy from all the physical training that I did every morning for 21 years. So it can be either. It's interchangeable. One usually leads to the other. So
you know what? Our producer and friend DJ, he is also, I believe, ex-military. He's retired, so he's over here shaking his head laughing.
Yeah, I'm from Norfolk, Virginia originally, and my dad's 20 years and in military town, so it's.
I'm just thankful for all the people
nice.
like you. So thank you, guys.
I'm thankful for you guys that got me into my next venture after the Army, which is crypto. So I'm gonna make my way up there. And by the way, in July, I heard there's a party going on.
Yeah, man.
In July,
yeah.
I want to make my way up there in July. I do. I told Robin at Consensus that I was coming out that way. So let's
definitely love to connect with
you. Guys. July 29th to July 29th, we're doing a meetup. We're still ironing out the details, but we'll be giving the community a little bit more insight on that as well. So,
all right. Well, what do you got? What do you got for us, Army Piper? What chart are we looking at here? What are we looking at? Bitcoin?
Yeah, looking at Bitcoin.
Oh, there he is.
You got a camera now?
Yeah, we got it. We see you.
Yeah, that was so weird because it said it was connected. But now let's get into TA because I identify as candlesticks today. So looking at Bitcoin here, guys, on the daily right now, I want to show this. I show it to a lot of people when I first go on so that they can see this, but it's a Fibonacci channel on Bitcoin going all the way back to its
will you do me a favor, brother? Will you share your chart? Because we see your face now. Earlier we were seeing your chart, not your face. Now we're seeing the opposite. There we go. So this is a Fibonacci channel that's been running on Bitcoin, going all the way back to its Bitstamp history here. And you can see going off of the zero line that we bounced off of the both of the market cycle tops, its bottoming came in at the golden pocket on both of these. Well, this particular period of time that we ran in here, we had, a lot of other things going on macroeconomic wise in this bear cycle that we had on crypto winter. And we went for about 2 months sideways in the golden pocket. Once we broke out of that, we did a nice little retest there, perfectly coming up onto the bottom of the rejection on that golden pocket. And that's where we've been at since then, currently at about 25,940 right now. What I do want to show is that if we bring down where we could possibly come to, I don't think that we're going to break the 786 during this cycle at all. I think that will be a test point for us at one point during the rest of this year, but I don't think we're going to break it. And if we do a little measurement down on that, let's say we came down from it right now. I mean, it would only be a 20% move to hit the 786. Not that I want to see a 20% move, but if we do, I'm going to be definitely buying in on the 786 there. But the point that I want to make with this before I jump over into the local TA timeframes is that if you look at the 786 and the golden pocket at the next approximate halving time frame, with end of April, beginning of May, which is what we're all looking at right now, that would put Bitcoin in a price range between 37,500 to 68,400 if we bounced in between the 786 and the golden pocket going up there throughout the next year. So I wanted to show that first off. Secondly, I want to come over here and show you what's going on with Bitcoin dominance, because Bitcoin dominance, the first time in a long time, is breaking the 50% mark here.
And you can see we were in this nice little trading channel here going sideways. And then right now, in the past week, we have been pumping up. And right now, currently sitting at 49.12% on Bitcoin dominance. So I do see that all of this pull away from the alts and the SEC listed securities, if you will, quote unquote, since you can't see that, that is definitely not looking very promising right there for the altcoins when Bitcoin's dominance is moving up like that. Let's go ahead and jump into local time frames here. And you can see currently right now, like I said, 25.9 on Bitcoin. We are looking right here. We've got this auto printing chart pattern going on here from the chart prime chart patterns. And it does have us with a nice support on the bottom here. I could see us pulling down to this, and that would be around 25.5, which is the new 28.5, as Robin was saying there. So looking at where we could go to the upside here, guys, we do have a couple of breaker blocks. These are former order blocks that are now zombified. Liquidity's pretty much been taken out of them. But
Did you say
see right here, we still yes, zombified. It's when you have a order block that is dead but still living.
I love it. You know,
so
you know what that reminds me of? George Bush Jr. When he was making up words, we must brainificate. Maybe that was Dave Chappelle. I love it. Sorry, go ahead.
It's fantastic. No, it's no, in my strategery of how I'm getting into these charts here. So yeah, we got these breaker blocks. They still played out. This red line you see right here is a trend assist. And it showed us that the trend was breaking off of this former green trend. So at this drop right here, we got that. We retested perfectly on that with the order block, I should say. And if we look at the Prime Oscillator Pro, we did get the downtrend arrow after getting this the bearish hidden divergence that printed here. What I do want to point out, though, because it is interesting that we've got all this bearishness going on the charts right now, but when you actually look at what's going on here, our money flow is not really dropping. This light blue cloud that you see behind here on the background, this is the MFI, Money Flow Index, and it's really just kind of flattening out, not really pulling down.
Army Piper,
yeah,
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but can you explain to people that don't know, because we've had TA analysts on here and talking about money flow all the time. I've never asked anyone, explain to the average viewer what money flow is, what it means, and why it's so important when you're doing your charts.
So money flow is not really based or gauged on the actual money. It's the amount of volume going in and out. So the higher the volume, then obviously it's going to show that there is money flow going in. And how this registers is because you assume that if there's volume going in or out of an asset, that's money going in and out, right? Because no one's giving it away back and forth. Right. When we see this 50% line here and it goes above it, people they start looking down here. They go, oh, money's coming up. That's not really true. That is the volume lessening and then the volume increasing on the buy side. So this is selling pressure and this is buying pressure of volume. So when you see the MFI, you got to really look at it as volume, which equates to money, which is moving in and out to make the asset go up or down based on if they're buying or selling pressure. So that help? Is that good?
Absolutely, man. Yeah. I just, I'm the kind of person, I'm like, okay, there's definitely people watching who aren't familiar with TA and these words. We want to make it as beginner friendly and also give value to the people who understand TA. So thank you so much for that explanation.
Yeah, not a problem, man. Anytime, bro. Anytime. So looking what happened here on our Pro Oscillator, we did get this little ribbon pinch. Anytime we get these ribbon pinches, especially the higher up it is, for example, back here, that led into this down trickle that we had here. We aren't as high as what we were back here when this was really firing off major overbought signals on here. But where we are right now, I could see this at least coming down. And let me get rid of that white line to show you what I'm going to see here. I could see this coming down and getting a zero bounce. We do this sometimes, and we get bounces on the zero mark, which is a great way to play out what the trade is looking at. If you're looking to either DCA to buy HODL, or if you're looking to trade it, on some type of exchange. So I will be watching for this to come down and bounce on the zero line. The trend fusion oscillator did trigger green back Sunday afternoon, or Sunday at midnight, I should say. So this is still looking strong here. I'm not overly worried about that on that side. And then this bottom one here is the RSI primed. And what we did is we took, our developers took a RSI line and we put it into candlesticks based on volume and based on the amount volume in each candle, which gives us the ability to look for candlestick patterns. For example, here engulfing gave us the candlestick pattern before it ever actually moved on the chart for price action. So I'm watching for this literally to come down to that 25.5 mark, get a nice bounce on the symmetric triangle bottom chart pattern line, gives us that bounce on the yellow line, the zero line here of the Oscillator Pro, the trend fusion to continue up, money flow to get a little double top here on the MFI, and then maybe print that engulfing. That would be the perfect scenario for where I would say comfortably that it's time to move back in on Bitcoin. You guys wanted to see a little Ethereum, I hear.
Yeah. Well, can we actually before ETH, can we do XRP? You know, we know the Hinman emails came out. We saw XRP pump up today. It kind of came back down. What's going on? What are we seeing? Yeah, look at those two big candles there. Yeah.
Yep. So here's what happened with XRP. Let me tell you a story about XRP. Some guy named Gary Gensler
story time
decided that he was going to sue them. And no, guys, we had a big move on XRP. It came down. It hit the momentum wave. This is going to be hitting about midnight my time on Saturday night, going into Sunday. It bounced right off of that momentum wave there, and it took back off. As you guys can see here, let me hide this line here because it's not relevant. It's not relevant. It's not relevant. Let me just get rid of that. There we go. Hide. Thank you. We bounced off of the momentum wave. That's actually where my entry was out on my long trade, just so you're tracking. We're almost back to it. So came up here. We broke above this dynamic reactor, which is a moving average that's based on the back testing of where the moving averages actually affected price action reversal. And so it does this hybrid of moving averages based on back testing the moving averages. So pretty cool. A lot of trigonometry in there. So we did get a nice bounce back above that there. When we look at the bounce off of the momentum wave, we got back above the dynamic reactor, and right now we're about to come back and test. If you remember that light green line that I showed you earlier that was red and then green, that's the trend assist. We have kicked back in on a green right now and has not fired back to red. So as of right now, this breaker block, another zombie right there on the order block side, is holding with good support. We do have the dynamic reactor showing support. What happened this morning was we pumped all the way up, guys, to 56.5 cents. We literally hit the top of the platinum pocket here on my Fibonacci's. I like to use it. You guys always hear about the golden pocket. You never hear about the platinum pocket. The platinum pocket is where big reversals occur if the golden pocket doesn't play out. And that is between the 887 and the 786 where I place those at. We literally bounced off the 887 there.
Is that a real thing?
Or Elliott waves.
Is that a real thing, or is that like trademarked by Army Piper, the platinum pocket?
Nope. So we got a member in our community that uses Chart Prime that does Elliott waves on top of Chart Prime indicators, and he loves to use the platinum pocket for his secondary buy-in. So he'll split entries on the golden pocket and the platinum pocket. And once I started playing with them, I went, wow, this platinum pocket's more powerful than the golden pocket most of the time. So if you don't know how to use it, there it is. The 887 and the 786. Throw it on your chart. Thank me later. Taking a look here, though, we did get that reversal, fired off the reversal indicator on here, and then down she goes. We went right through the golden pocket with no hesitation, catching that breaker block, pulling back up right now. We are at this current time period on a 4-hour chart, wicking to the 618 on the golden pocket. So I'm going to be watching for that. The reason that I don't think that this downside is completely done yet is because we did get that downtrend arrow that printed on our Pro oscillator, and we got the reversal dot on our trend fusion oscillator as we started to get curvature on the trend and the money flow. So looking at XRP a little more bearish right now than what I'm looking at on Bitcoin, but never underestimate XRP. Like it literally, XRP Army can turn this thing around right here on this breaker block, and it just goes right back up to grab liquidity to the upside. I do have a reason that I think it's coming up, and I'll show you that in 1 second. The one thing I want to point out here is on the RSI primed. And again, this is a free indicator. Anybody can add this to their chart. It's just type in RSI primed. It's from Chart Prime. It's absolutely free. So you guys should grab that for sure. But we did get this engulf a candlestick pattern that fired off of this bottom range here. And that's what led into this entire uptick here. That's why I got into that trade that I got into right there above it. So I'm watching to see, because we did not get the full play out of that here. So because of that, despite this reversal, despite this downtick, and despite this twist in the ribbon here on the oscillator pros, I do think we have upside. And the reason for that is if we come back here and we look at where we were at on that wick that's back on March 29th, we did not quite make it back up to that. We got caught on the 887. I would not be surprised to see this come back up to grab the liquidity that's sitting up there above that wick. Liquidity hunters, that's what the whales do. They hunt down that liquidity so they can take someone else's money. A lot of people, I think if we break this 887 level, is going to get extremely bullish in the market. They're going to start FOMOing in at around this 56 cent mark. And I think that once it hits up here on this upper level, that is going to just crush people's souls and wreck them, take their liquidity. They're going to be someone else's exit liquidity on their trade, and then it's going to come back down, probably bouncing in between that platinum pocket for the time being. But this could all be thrown out the window tomorrow, just so you guys are tracking. Because tomorrow morning on the macroeconomic side, we have FOMC data coming out. And right now it's looking like that FOMC info is going to be giving us a pause on rate hikes. So
yeah, that's at least what the Fed watch tool is saying. But man, that was some good stuff, Army Piper. We want to thank you so much. If people want more, they want more Army Piper, they want to follow you, they want more TA, where can they find you? And they want to know what you look
we
like.
are on wait, I don't know why my screen is blocking out.
There it is.
I'll bring it up here. Let's go. Let's get it. So yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Army Piper, and then also I'm on Investing Bros every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with TA Tim over there and T Shroom. We're going live every morning, giving the alpha on market open, what's going on the macroeconomic side, going through TA on all of the alts. We go through some commodities and stuff like that. And that's Bros with the Z. So that's where you guys can find me at. Yeah, Bros with the Z.
Awesome, man.
And then also I'm gonna hit up Crypto Billy so that I can get that date and time for that thing, because I'm coming up to Vegas. So
yeah, man.
I love Vegas.
July 29th.
I'm a DJ, so you know I'm a gambler.
We'll show you all the good casinos to lose your money at.
Or you can just pick meme coins and lose money that way too.
Yeah, all jokes aside, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's it. That's Investing Bros with a Z, by the way, though.
Okay.
Bros.
Broskies.
Terrible at spelling.
Hey, guys, thanks
it was
for having
me
me on.
Yeah, man. Thank
Big
you
Rob,
again.
David, I appreciate you guys, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you. And we look forward to meeting you in person. Take care.
See you soon.
Later, guys.
Peace.
All right.
All right, Robin. Yell at the chat or something.
Yell at the chat or something. Okay, for sure. All right. If you are new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. Matter of fact, you will get nothing from me until you put hola in the chat. Let's get an hola train going. So if you are a fan of the show, if you like what you're watching, or if you're just bored and want to say something, put an hola in the chat. And then to the new people here, I want to say hello to Ginger P, Jason Smith, Speeders. We also have Paul Doom Itru, Justin Eubanks, Northwest Crypto, Ray Run with an extra N, Bedridden, and Small Face No Toe as well.
Where's Big Face? No ear.
And then Jason Smith and Mark Sanji as well. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
My man.
And then also, Sailing to Crypto gave a 5 gifted memberships as well. So
you got a new sugar daddy here or what?
You know,
giving Jimmy a run for his money. I like it. Okay. But Jimmy, anyways.
So CPI, man, is things getting cheaper or more expensive?
Man. Hold up, bro. Hold on, bro. That ain't the biggest news of the day.
CPI?
No.
What's bigger than that?
You know what's bigger than that?
The emails? Let's do it.
All right. So here we have a video from Stuart Alderodi, counsel over at Ripple. So this is about a 4.5-minute video explaining the Hinman emails. And I can argue from everything I've read and seen right, that the emails becoming public doesn't necessarily change anything for Ripple, but it has even a bigger effect for all those other companies, the centralized entities that are in the crosshairs and being sued by the SEC. You'll see what I'm saying once we get through the details and information. So here we go.
On June 14th, 2018, then SEC Director of Corporation Finance William Hinman gave a high-profile speech where he declared that a token is not a security when it becomes, quote, sufficiently decentralized. But internal emails and documents show that senior SEC officials repeatedly warned Hinman that his speech wasn't true to the law and would greatly confuse the markets even more than they already were. Now, after more than 2 years and 7 court orders, we can finally share some of what we found in the Hinman speech documents. The SEC head of trading and markets warned Hinman that he was making up factors that, quote, go beyond the typical Howey analysis, as in not in the law, and that the speech could lead to not just confusion, but greater confusion on what is a security. Hinman ignored him.
If the network on which the token or coin is to function is sufficiently decentralized, and the purchasers no longer have a reasonable expectation that a person or a group is going to carry out essential managerial or entrepreneurial efforts, those assets might not represent an investment contract.
The same official told Hinman he should tie his speech, quote, more closely and explicitly to the Howey analysis. Hinman not only ignored him, but deliberately created factors beyond those identified by the Supreme Court in the Howey case.
I wanted to just note a few things. This list is not meant to be exhaustive, but these are things that we look at.
The SEC's own general counsel warned specifically that it's legally irrelevant if someone retains a stake in a token and is motivated to take action to increase its value, and that Hinman should delete it from the speech. And once again, Hinman ignored them and said without any legal support that it was important to ask.
Has that person or group retained a stake or other interest in the digital asset such that it would be motivated to expend efforts to cause an increase in the value of the digital asset?
Both Trading and Markets and the General Counsel also disagreed with Hinman's belief that if a network was sufficiently decentralized, information asymmetries would no longer exist, noting that a network creator would likely have more information than a retail holder, using Vitalik Buterin as an example. They warned Hinman that by creating this, quote, other category and focusing on information asymmetries, he was exposing a regulatory gap that the SEC may not have the jurisdiction to fill. Again, Hinman ignored them.
As the network becomes more truly decentralized, the ability to even to identify a promoter or to make the requisite, and someone that could actually make the requisite disclosures becomes in many cases difficult or and perhaps much less meaningful.
On June 4th, Hinman wrote that he didn't see a, quote, need to regulate Ether as a security, and set up a call with Ethereum's co-founder Vitalik Buterin later that week to, quote, confirm our understanding. On June 11th, the SEC's own general counsel advised against including any direct statement about Ether in the speech because it would be difficult for the SEC to, quote, take a different position on Ether in the future. The next day, Trading and Markets wrote that the statements about Ether were, quote, likely to create more confusion. Hinman ignored all of them and decided to make headlines, picking winners and losers instead.
Moreover, putting aside the fundraising that accompanied the creation of Ether, based on my understanding of the present state of Ether, the Ethereum network, its decentralized structure, we believe current offers and sales of Ether are not securities transactions.
The emails show that Hinman knew he wasn't following the law. He knew he was making things up. And he knew that his speech would result in greater confusion in an already confused market. But Hinman went ahead with the speech anyway. And the SEC, despite knowing all this, touted the speech repeatedly. The SEC chairman himself pointed market participants to the speech.
Bill Hinman recently outlined the approach we take to evaluate whether a digital asset is a security. And I encourage you to take a look at Bill's speech, which is available on our website.
I think that right there has to be the nail in the coffin for the SEC saying those were just personal views when you have the sitting chair of the SEC pointing to that speech and saying, you want more information, you want more clarity, you want to understand, listen to that speech. Right?
Right.
What was your biggest takeaway from that?
Okay. Let's zoom out real quick and figure out. So what makes a security? You look at the Howey test, right, which was referenced there, and the Howey test is 4 different criteria. One of them or at least what pertains in this situation, is investing in a common enterprise. And so a common enterprise is investing in a company, right? A setup company. Right. And so if you become sufficiently decentralized, you can't invest in a company. So if you take gold, for example, there's no head of gold, right? There's no person in charge of
Peter Schiff was.
No. So, there's no entity that you can say, hey, can you change how gold works? Gold is what it is. It's a commodity. And so at some point, if you remove a company from the equation, there's nobody to come in and register. There's nobody in charge, and there's no one to invest in, right? Or at least not a company. And that's what happens when a project becomes decentralized. And so you can make an argument that when Bitcoin first started, there was Satoshi Nakamoto, and he essentially could pull the strings. He could shut down the Bitcoin network before it became decentralized and before all the miners plugged in. And so at one point, Bitcoin was not decentralized enough to be a commodity, but at some point it switched. And so why is this so important is because there are multiple projects. There's multiple cryptos out there that have reached sufficiently decentralized as a measuring stick to see, is it a commodity? And we have, multiple people from the SEC saying that Ethereum is a commodity because it's sufficiently decentralized. Why is that important? Well, Ethereum is pretty damn similar to XRP when it comes to decentralization, and also with its initial ICO. And so if you can draw the conclusion that Ethereum is decentralized, and the SEC head, multiple people at the SEC have said that, hey, this one's decentralized, it doesn't take a genius to simply say, well, if that one's decentralized, so is this one, XRP, that you're suing. And that's why it was such a big deal to kind of cover this up and not have it as part of evidence for this court case. And that's why this is so big. Now, also, when you say, what is my big takeaway, is that there was internal arguments about his speech. And so it wasn't a guy with a glass of whiskey in his hand, having a speech, giving a toast, and be like, oh yeah, Ethereum is like, this is a prepared speech. This man knew what he was going to say. He had his team of people that already knew what he was going to say, and that's the decision that he decided to go. And it makes sense, right? And the thing is what you have is what we should have now, is you have a person looking at new technology that, hey, perhaps the former way of looking at it, the Howey test, doesn't fit exactly perfectly into assessing digital assets, new technology. So why don't we say, hey, is this decentralized? Before, that really wasn't a prong of any test because you couldn't really decentralize something because somebody was always in control. Now we live in an era where you can sufficiently decentralize something on the internet, and this is new. And he realized that. And so Mr. Hinman was like, hey, if you reach decentralization, or at least some form of it, some form of criteria, you are no longer a security. And I think it makes sense.
I think it makes sense too. But here's the thing is this situation we're in, as far as something starting off as a security and then becoming decentralized, and now it's not a security, or if you launch an ICO, that's an investment contract, but the secondary sales are not because people buy them and use Ether for gas and utility. It's such a unique new idea, new technology, new asset that it doesn't fit in one box, it doesn't fit in this box. There's a whole new box that has to be created. And what I found extremely interesting was two things. Regulatory gap that the SEC does not have power to enforce. Okay, that was number one. Number two was Jay Clayton. What during his time when he was serving as the chair of the SEC, saying, watch the Hinman email or watch the Hinman speech if you want more clarity, if you want more information. Those two things. Now, I did mention before I showed the video that I don't think this necessarily changes anything for Ripple, right? Because a judge already read it. Ripple, their counsel already read it. Obviously, the SEC knows what it's about. So who does it help then now that they're made public, and why is it such a big deal? Here's who it helps. This is Chief Legal Officer of Coinbase, Paul Grewal, tweeted, the regulatory gap, okay, in quotes, proof from the Hinman emails of what we've been saying to the Third Circuit, to Congress, and to the SEC itself, that the securities laws are incomplete when it comes to digital assets, that securities laws aren't meant to rule over all digital assets, and that many digital assets are not securities. So this was in the emails, right? While we agree that a central purpose of the Securities Act is to address any information asymmetry, I think we worry that it does not follow that there is no longer an asymmetry once a network becomes decentralized. Again, regulatory gap. The SEC doesn't have power over that regulatory gap. I mean, what could this potentially do, Robin, when Coinbase goes through and they go to court and they're sitting there and it's them and it's whoever's there from the SEC, and they pull that part of the email up. Regulatory gap. You say time and time again, Chair Gensler, that the rules are clear, that the rules are there. You just got to follow them.
They're not clear. Nothing about the SEC is clear.
It's clear that they're...
Stop it. Ain't nothing clear, man. Just like I don't want to sign up for Clear when I'm in the airport. Takes too damn long. Ain't down with it.
Wow.
I almost missed a flight because of that thing.
I know. I was there.
They were like, hey,
No, I was not there.
they were like, hey, why don't you sign up for Clear? You can go express through. And then they're like, oh, let me scan your eyeball. I'm like, why are you scanning my eyeballs, man? And then the system didn't like my eyeballs because it wasn't giving me. Anyways. What was the question? SEC? What happened?
So how much is this going to help Coinbase and even maybe Binance and Kraken and all these other companies that have gone through the ringer with the SEC?
It's not going to change anything right now. But what it is it's going to help the court case. And if the court case wins, obviously everybody wins, right? XRP, Ripple Labs, court case, that is front and center. It should come to an end. This is damning evidence that, hey, the branch of government that's saying XRP is a security is taking a different stance in the past. And, well, hey, telling you, buy your XRP now, not investment advice. Things about to take off, bro.
Okay, let me ask you this question then.
Don't you agree? I mean, is there...
But I want to ask you a question. Buy XRP now. So you're saying that this is very bullish and you think XRP's price is going to rally. Well, XRP's price did rally to 56.5 cents and came right back down. Why do you think that is? If this was so bullish, something we've been waiting on for so long.
Because people don't believe it, man. People don't believe it's actually here. People know it's coming. It's like waiting for summer, man. You know, it comes around to May. You're like, it's still cold out. And then it's still cold like the first couple weeks of June. You're like, and you still have yet to buy some shorts or flip-flops or whatever it is. And all of a sudden you wake up and it's there. And it surprises you. You knew it was coming, but yet you were in disbelief because you just didn't feel it, right? Yeah. And so that's what I think. I think that people are selling because, yes, in their heart, they know that it's coming to an end. But at the same time, they're looking at it thinking that it'll never come. And it's coming, man. And that's what they're done deliberating. Now, there is a chance it could go to trial, and then
I don't think it's going to trial.
I'm just saying it's a possibility.
It's a possibility,
but I think that the federal judge has enough information. I think the federal judge can confidently rule on this without it going to trial. And in doing so, I think that XRP is going to move in the next couple weeks.
If you guys agree with Robin and you think XRP will moon in the next couple of weeks, put a 1 in the chat. If you disagree vehemently, put a 2 in the chat.
Yeah,
if you don't know what vehemently means, put a 3 in the chat.
So, one, and it's all going to be XRP. So, court case ends, and then 2, court case goes on forever. It's on till 2020 something. There we go.
2020 something. Heard.
Got it. There you go.
I do want to, this was kind of a funny tweet from Library Credits. We know what happened with them. They lost their SEC case, and the SEC pretty much bankrupted the company to the point where they had to drop their fine from 22 million to just 100 grand because they just didn't have the money. To which library.com tweeted, really regretting that we didn't bribe the SEC like Ethereum did. If you get the chance to bribe government officials, please do it. It's worth every penny. And then they had to clarify, this is a completely serious tweet, by the way. Cryptocurrency in the US actually would be an even worse place without the Ethereum SEC corruption. Now, there was an uproar, and still is from the XRP army, from the XRP community, with Ether, and that they were in cahoots with the SEC. I mean, you got this guy saying, yeah, we're going to get Vitalik on the phone to get more insight on how their businesses ran before delivering a speech that could potentially shape the landscape, the regulatory landscape of the crypto markets. Do you buy into that theory, Robin, that Ethereum, Vitalik, they were in cahoots with the SEC, that they screwed the rest of the markets over?
They weren't. Now, what I do believe is that there were some people that worked at SEC that probably were like, hey, man, this crypto thing, boss is saying it's not even a security. So if it's not a security, it's not even our jurisdiction. I'm going to buy some. Right? Do you think that people that work at the SEC own gold? You think they got a chain at the house? You think they got a car that has nickel and palladium in there in that battery?
Possibly.
And so it's okay to own a commodity. It's okay to own. Hey, man. Your boy just Gary Gensler that one. All right, so it's okay to own a commodity, right? And so nobody's sitting here telling the SEC that you can't go buy gold or silver. And they're also saying it's okay if you truly believe it, if the boss says so, to go buy some Ethereum, to go buy some Bitcoin. And if that's the situation, and then all of a sudden, let's just say 6 years later, you're holding that Ethereum, and they're like, yeah, this is a security, and you're an employee, you're like, what do I do with this? Probably shouldn't have bought this, right? But at the time, it was cool. That's the whole problem. That's the whole thing, man. The whole thing is that it has been clearly defined as a commodity. It's been clearly addressed as that. And XRP is in the same damn boat. And that's just the reality to it. And the fact that we're sitting here, even having this conversation is stupid. And Gary Gensler will go on. Gary Gensler was on the panel, and after all of this conversation, after all of this info, after all this crap, this man still refuses.
How would you categorize Ether then?
Look, I think that the general sweep of what Congress did, not just in the 30s, but as a matter,
I'm asking you, sitting in your chair now to make an assessment under the laws as exist, is Ether a commodity or a security?
Without speaking to anyone.
See, that's what I'm saying. The dude can't even answer the most basic question. And the people that worked there already knew that thing. Former SEC heads already knew that thing. It's a damn commodity. Why are we even doing this? That's all I got.
There are some fallout from this as Ripple calls for an investigation into former SEC official after the documents have become released. They are looking for an investigation into William, a.k.a. Bill Hinman. Chief Legal Officer Stuart Alderodi from Ripple said, quote, an investigation must be conducted to understand what or who influenced Hinman, why conflicts were ignored, and why the SEC touted the speech, knowing that it would create greater confusion.
Do you think so? I know what you're saying. I know what the narrative is here. Do you personally think that Mr. Hinman received Ethereum?
Yes. I think there was definitely handshakes there for sure. But here's my thing, okay?
I don't think so.
I think so.
Okay.
Here's my thing, though. I feel like a lot of the people in the XRP community, they're so upset at that. I mean, like, it happens everywhere, right? Like, America is one of the only 2 countries in the world that it's legal to advertise prescription medication. Everything in this country is money, right? Money influences these politicians. We can't change, at least we've tried and we haven't been able to, change the way that our government is ran, right? So, like, you can't change the rules, then you got to start playing by the rules, right? You got to play the game. So
the game ain't fair, though. The game is rigged, man.
I agree.
Stop playing the damn game. Throw the whole damn game out the window, bro.
Well, then
that's what I'm saying.
So, anyways,
I do want to give a little love to the chat here.
I wasn't done yet.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Okay, I forgive you. I know you're excited today.
Excited for the chat.
I know. One more thing I wanted to read. Stuart Alderodi continued. Hinman ignored multiple warnings that his speech contained made-up analysis with no basis in law, was divorced from the Howey factors, exposed regulatory gaps, and would create not just confusion, but greater confusion in the market. So they're trying to hold Bill Hinman accountable. We'll see where this goes. Interesting to say the least. Go ahead, Robin.
Okay, so yeah, just a little love to the chat. So Web #MCT, or no, Web3 MCT, he has upgraded to the hodler member.
What?
Yeah, so we got a new hodler. I think we have a hodler button over there somewhere, but there it is. Yeah, so your boy joined the hodler club. I think we only have like 9 hodlers. Yeah, so welcome to the club.
To all of you hodling your memberships, thank you.
That's right. And then we also got our whale membership as well, guys. So if we include you in the credits at the end. So
also,
big shout out
you
to
get
the whale members.
10% off of all merch, and you get to join our whale chat on Discord. A lot of fun goes on in there. You can even see Jimmy's portfolio. It's very intriguing. Now,
and then just a quick shout out to the new people. If you're new here, say hello so we can jump in a lot back at you. We got Hey Man, Richard Morrissey, Baby G, Iban, Jade, Jose Rojas, Cryptolytics, LD Zuno, James Douglas, Crypto Mike, Hackzar, and Bronze Tiger. To all of you, hola! Welcome. Sin City Crypto.
Well, there was another big thing that happened today. CPI number came out. We haven't even talked about that. Usually that would be the number one topic. 4% flat. 4% flat. Forecast was 4.1. This was for the month of May, year over year, going back 12 months. So May 2022 to May 2023, inflation came in at 4%. Core came in at 5.3%. So a little sticky on the core, but look at that. Fuel oil down 37%, gasoline down 19.7%. Now, this was now you might be saying, hold up, man, gas is still expensive. You gotta remember though, May of 2022, gas was much higher than May of this year, and that is where these numbers come from. So energy sector total down 11.7%. And then we had
I can afford to drive again.
Yeah. And then we had used cars and trucks also down 4.2%. And a lot of that has to do with the computer chips. We know there was a bottleneck over there in Taiwan. You got to remember, those guys control upwards of 90% of the microchip market. So that's helped there. Now, what kind of effect has that had on the CME and what they think the Fed's going to do? Well, guess what, guys? 91.9% now believe we are definitely getting a pause. And guess what? You're not going to have to wait too long, because tomorrow the 2-day FOMC meeting concludes, and we will get an announcement from Fed Chair Jerome Powell about what they're going to do. Will they pause? Will they hike? Or will they cut? I believe a pause is on the table. I believe that's what we're going to get. I feel like Robin's going to agree because that's what the CME says. I know my boy DJ here, the big macro guy. So DJ, what's your, make sure to unmute yourself. Do you think we're going to get a pause? You agree with the CME, or do you think we're going to get a cut or a hike?
The CME has not been wrong in as long as I've been watching it.
CME. Oh, so you're with Robin. CME all the way.
All the way.
Okay. Interesting. We also got to remember, guys, that the Treasury Department is going to start issuing $1 trillion of Treasury securities. Will they be bonds? Will they be bills? That's going to have a lot of impact on the markets. And I think what the Fed does and what the U.S. Treasury decides to do, it's either going to pump the markets or it's going to dry the markets out, as we're going to see a big dip to the downside. And then we had this, which was very, very head-scratching for me, okay? It's kind of like Janet Yellen said the quiet part out loud. She said she expects a slow decline, or she says to expect a slow decline in the U.S. dollar as reserve currency. Now, why in the world would the Treasury Secretary come out and say this publicly before they're getting ready to issue out $1 trillion worth of debt, worth of U.S. debt? Why? Now, I know we all know this is happening, right? But
it's been happening since the 90s.
I know,
She's not saying anything new here.
But dude, that's like saying, hey, invest in my company. We might not be around in 2 years, but still, you should invest in it.
She's not saying that they're going to go away. They're not saying that they're not going to be the world reserve currency, but it's the direction that the world is going.
But why would you say that?
Because we don't.
That does not make sense.
No, it does make sense because
why does it make sense?
It's the reality.
They have refused to come out and say we are in a recession or we're going to a recession. And so you think it's practical for the Treasury Secretary to come out and say the dollar reserve is going away?
The dollar reserve has been fading its dominance since the 90s. It's not anything new. And it's not like if she were to say, oh, we're going to be on top of our game and we're going to have more dominance, like nobody would believe her. It's just, it is what it is. It's like saying like,
okay, so
hey,
then when they say, no, we're not in a recession, and they expect people to not believe them?
Why? Okay. So because they don't want to admit we're in a recession, the thing is that
then
you
why
can
would
make,
they want to admit
but you
something
can
like
make
that?
an argument. There are economists out there that can make an argument that we weren't in a recession.
And there's people that can argue that the dollar is not going to lose its reserve currency.
It's not even an argument. It's been losing dominance since the 90s. Every single year, it ticks down a little bit. And every single year, we lose dominance. So it's not like, it's not an opinion, it's a fact. And it's not going to reverse. And if you're aware of the temperature in the room when it comes to how the world is progressing, we don't need to rely on one currency to transact anymore. I think we can all agree, right? When you go to an airport now, internationally, when I first started traveling, you went to the airport, there was always a line of people at the exchange. The Cambio, the exchange, all of that. Like there was always a line of people there. That thing was always open. Now you go and you travel. What do you see? That those exchange places are usually closed now. You don't need it. You don't need to have the currency of the country. Everything is digital now, right? And so it's happening on a trade basis. It's happening on institutions, and it's also happening across, all markets. And so dollar dominance is fading because technology is evolving to a point to where if I'm in India and I want to transact with somebody in Australia, I don't need to go purchase dollars. That's it. We're not in that. And it's slowly becoming less dependent on having one currency. So, and I don't know, man. What do you think? I mean, so do you see any situation? Is there any situation where the currency becomes stronger again, the dollar? I mean, realistically.
But Robin, that's not the point. The point
she made was we're losing the dominance. She's not saying that.
But why would you say that out loud right before you're getting ready to issue debt of your government? And the reason people hold your debt is because A, you're the world reserve currency, and B, you're the largest economy in the world.
Because it's a fact. That's what I'm saying.
But if they refuse to say other facts like we're in a recession or inflation is sticky or anything else.
But inflation fluctuates, right? Inflation will go up. Inflation will go down. All right? You can be in a recession. You can argue when a recession starts. You can argue when it ends. You can argue in a depression. Those are all points of argument. You cannot argue that we're losing world reserve currency. It's fact. It's been that way since the 90s. And for her to come out there and say we're not would be asinine.
Or she could just not comment on it, which is what they usually do.
She probably got asked a question and she answered the question.
Robin, really?
I'm sure she did
Gary
not.
Gensler gets asked questions all the time, and he knows his way around them.
That's what reporters do, is they ask questions that they know are going to get headlines on Twitter. That's exactly what they did. That if we had her on the panel, we would probably ask her that too.
Yeah, and she would probably say,
no, she didn't. She answered. She was like, yeah, it's a foregone conclusion.
I'm just saying it's not practical for someone in her position to answer that question like she did. It's just weird.
I don't know why you think it's so weird. We're losing dominance as a currency, bro.
I want to know what the chat thinks, because we're just going to keep going back and forth till the show's over, and then we're going to go to the hockey game and be mad at each other. Chat, do you agree with me or do you agree with Robin? If you're a member of this channel, use the emojis. My face, Robin's face. If you're not, put a 1 for David, 2 for Robin. Who do you agree with?
Why I gotta be 2? Why can't I be 1? I'm just saying, why you gotta be 1? You gotta throw yourself out there, man. I don't like that. Also, can you hit the like button?
My bad. I'll massage your ego later, okay? Anyways, while the chat's doing that, something interesting that I found on where'd it go? Here. I'm not going to pull up the article, but I'm going to pull up the headline. And so early numbers are in, exit polls. People are with me, Robin. Sorry, you lost this one, bro. You lost this one. Now, Rob, I want to, so this one here, okay? Apple will remove the Damus app, which you might know as Nostr, right? Decentralized social media. Unless it drops its Bitcoin tipping feature. Now, we had my boy DJ in studio said, might mean that Apple's trying to come out with their own. My thing is, well, maybe they're looking at all this SEC lawsuits and what's going on and what they're doing with these companies, and they just don't want to get involved with it. Do you have a similar or a different take?
My whole thing, okay, so they're just attacking it because it has a lot of presence. It's a social media network that has a lot of presence in crypto and blockchain, right? That's the only reason. It's because of what it stands for. That's it. That's the only reason they're attacking it. And then why do I say that? Because you can tip in Bitcoin on Twitter, and they ain't taking Twitter down. Did they threaten Twitter? You can tip Bitcoin on Twitter. It's a social media program or platform. And you can tip in Twitter. You can tip Bitcoin. I can send you Bitcoin right now on Twitter. That's okay. That's cool. That's good. You have another social media platform. You can tip in Bitcoin, but they're smaller and they're not run by the world's richest man.
So what do you think it is? What is it?
It's exactly that. It's run by somebody that's not the richest man, who doesn't have a lot of power. Apple don't want to piss off Twitter. How many people use Twitter on their iPhones? It's a big. If you threaten to take that away, you threaten to take that drug away, that candy from that baby gonna cry, man. I'm just letting you know, you don't want to do that. Nope. Yeah. Like, you cannot take Twitter away from Apple. But you can sit here and say, hey, this social media app, it's got a lot of crypto tied in there. That ain't cool. And somebody we don't even know is running it. Technically it's decentralized, so nobody's running it. But it's just Apple flexing. They want more money.
Speaking of money, channel sponsor, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. Today's show is brought to you by them. If you want more information on how they can help your business grow, hit them up. Go to bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Also, make sure to check out all of our social medias. We're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're everywhere. You want to support the channel? There's plenty of ways to do that. There are links in the description of this video yet again. And also, go Knights go. We are going to the game, Rob and I.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to watch them hoist up that Stanley Cup. We're going to be part of history, the first ever
You know, they always parade the cup around. Do you think they'll let us? You know, think the cup will make a stop here in Sin City Crypto Studio?
Are you gonna rush the ice?
Who rushes the ice? This isn't college football here, man. You don't rush the ice. You're wearing shoes, man.
Maybe we start
it's
a trend.
Slippery. Like, get out of here. I do want to give a little shout out to the people.
A trend. Who knows?
If you are new here, say hello. It's your last chance. I do want to give a shout out to. We got JU Ultra CDP, Dang on the Sun, David Gelfriend, Jazz, and then we got Brian Ferris and Streghart. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
With that being said,
that's it.
DJ, you know what time it is, bro? What time is it? My man knows. It's finger time.
Finger time.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you had a great time. We sure did. Big thank you to our guest, Army Piper. Go support our guests. Go support us. We have to all of us here. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time.
Sin City Crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya. City.